Hello and welcome to our latest episode of What's on the Horizon. I'm Lori Sharonbrock here with Chris Schucker of Digital Horizons. And I don't know if anybody knows this or not, but there's something really exciting happening here at Digital Horizons. You guys are building. There's big things happening in the backyard. What's going on?
Yeah. So going back a little bit, we bought this property and building in 2016. We've been in business since 2013. So after 3 or 4 years, we needed to go somewhere.
Sure.
And we tried to find something to lease, and that didn't work out. And we found the building, and we did a great remodel when we bought it with Norson, and this space has been more than what we expected it to be. Yeah. But two things have happened. One, we're starting to run out of warehouse space as we grow. But then also, back when we started the business, we didn't have a service van. We bought a service van after about a year, and now we have 3 of them. And we don't really have parking for them either. No. So the solution to both of those things is we're adding a big warehouse to the back of our current warehouse, basically. And it's going to do 2 things. One, probably without saying, it's going to give us more warehouse space. Yep. And primarily for things that we use on a day-to-day basis, but aren't really things that we're installing necessarily. Sure. And what I mean by that is a lot of our rough-in materials, our construction-related stuff, our wiring materials, some of our boxes that we install, and then a lot of our day-to-day tools and things like that we store in the current warehouse that maybe doesn't fit in our van and maybe we use more intermittently. That'll all go back there. And then the second thing it's doing is it's giving us a place to park our service vans. Right now, we have a limited amount of parking in front of our building. Yep. Unfortunately, we sometimes take up the handicap spot to load things, and that obviously is not good. And so we're busting at the seams. And so now we have a warehouse that we're adding that's going to be 60 by 36, which means we'll have 4 stalls for parking.
That's awesome.
Yeah. And so our 3 service vans will go back there. We have a cargo trailer that we use for larger projects that is just parked wherever it can go. Sometimes it's at my house, sometimes it's at Scott's house, sometimes it's here. It's kind of messy.
Yeah.
So we'll be able to park that in there. And doing that is going to help us in a lot of ways. One of the ways is, especially during winter, we're in Minnesota, for anybody for maybe that doesn't know. And in the winter, it gets really cold. Oh, yeah. I mean, even in December, when it's, below zero.
Totally.
So November through, say, March or April, it's very cold out. Maybe not so much in April, but the vehicles are always outside, which means in the morning when our technicians are getting things started, they have to start the vans. We want to warm them up. Yep. That's not good for them. They're running for usually 30 to 45 minutes every morning, times 3. That's wear and tear on the vehicles. It's obviously a lot of gas that's getting burned. And so by bringing them inside and placing them, we're going to have the slab in the concrete is going to be heated. Yep. They'll be in a warm space. They won't have to run in the morning, which means we're also going to be able to load things more efficiently. We're not going to have to be carting them outside, dealing with snowy sidewalks, snow on the vehicles. So we'll be able to load more efficiently. We'll be able to stage projects more efficiently. And unfortunately, we've actually had vans broken into. So now they'll be in a secured area. Yes. We'll be able to load the night before because the vans will be in a secured area. Yep. So instead of having to maybe come in earlier in the morning to load, we can do it at the end of the day. And then the other thing, which is kind of minor, we can't really ever wash the vehicles in winter because if we wash them, they're wet, they sit outside, and then they literally freeze. We can't open doors, hinges close. Ugh. So now we won't do it, every week, but as they build up and stuff, especially to get salt off them, we'll be able to wash them, drive them back. They'll be in a nice warm area, and everything's just going to be more efficient, which means what we do is more efficient. Yes. Our customers are served better, and it's probably overdue, but it's going to be done in a timely manner. We're hopefully finished late September, end of September we'll be done.
Ooh, that's exciting.
Yeah, so it'll be a really good thing. It's gonna take a lot of pressure off us and everybody here, and make our operations a lot smoother and more streamlined.
Yeah, that's you don't really realize how much you need it until you have it, and then you're like, oh yes, why didn't we?
Why didn't we
do this sooner? But I mean, it's coming together so quickly. Like I invite anyone to come. Like the Facebook page, we post pictures there pretty often of what's going on and do videos. Just so you can kind of see how awesome it's going to be and what a large space it's going to be for you. But, it went from like a dirt pile on the ground to a framed up building in like 3 or 4 days, which is
really
amazing
quick
to see.
Yeah.
So that's great that you guys are going to have that place. And
we'll be installing some technology out there too, obviously for what we do.
Sure.
But it'll also be a space that when we do, say, a chamber open house, or we have the Builders Association here, now we have a space where we can have a bunch of tables set out. And when we cater things, now we have a big space to do this.
Yep.
So we're going to have, for our purposes, because why not, we're going to have some speakers back there.
Great.
We're going to have lighting control back there. So those lights can be turned on by motion when somebody walks back there, and then they're not running throughout the day. We're going to have the in-floor heat will be on a control floor thermostat, so we can monitor that. We'll, of course, have many surveillance cameras, both for internal and external. The system itself, like the overhead doors and things like that, they're going to be a part of the security system like we would for any other commercial property. And all of those things will be tied into the control floor system. We're going to have a touch panel back there, so that can all be accessed by anybody that's back there. And so it'll just be another space that we can take people into and demonstrate how, even though it's, a warehouse or a garage space, how that stuff can be tied in and still be something that's integrated into Control 4.
Yeah, that's a great way to think about it. Like what you've done inside here is incredible for any residential spaces, and you have a conference room, which is great for people to be able to see how boardroom setups can go and what that would look like in a business application. But now for truly a commercial space to say, yes, you can get garage doors on a Control 4 system. Yes, you can do in-floor heating. You can do all of these things that maybe people think is residential only. They certainly have commercial applications that can be more efficient for their businesses too.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's awesome. Well, stay tuned for updates. Please go like our Facebook page and any of those social media channels. We will keep you up to date on the progress, and then for sure a nice tour of it when it's all put together. So thank you for joining us today, and we look forward to seeing you on the next episode.